A good now to you all. We are thoroughly enjoying the show. We are wondering if you are enjoying the show. There have been some developments revealed since we last joined you in this way that many of you, in fact, all of you, intended, or you would not be in a place to experience said development. It is our wish that you experience your lives, your storyline, with the joy with which it was intended, with your skillful craft of irony, humor, both light and dark, comedy. It would be our wish that you gift yourselves with the ability to take all that you see in a mode less serious, to not carry a weight, and to see everything before your eyes as the art and yourselves as the artist. For art, whether of angels or demons, whether mundane or dramatic, always has its common thread of beauty, always has the undertone of the technique of the artist. And if you place yourself far enough from a painting, you can see the whole picture. And if you place yourself close enough to a painting, you can see that each and every square millimeter is in fact exactly the same as every other, for it is all made of the same paint. Whether you are near or far to your painting at this time, or whether you are somewhere in the middle, there is always the option to appreciate the beauty. And in this now, we are excited to hear what it is that you, in your creation, would have in this moment of your masterpiece shown to you.
Thank you for joining us today. It is exciting to be here, and this is a fun time for sure. Whatever flavor shows up, it's still fun. I do have a question, which I think we may have discussed with you before, yet I feel to ask in this now. Um, for the things that we have on our planet, things such as gravity, things of those sort of forces, which are laws or whatever, don't know the proper term. And then there's our beliefs. So often we'll even hear, oh, well, we have this full moon, so it will be affecting you at this time, or other things in the cosmos. And I'd just like to know if you have something that you can share with us about that interaction between the so-called laws of the planet or the cosmos and our spiritual beliefs or explorations, if that makes sense.
Yes? Your laws are laws because they are your beliefs. Without the beliefs in the laws would no longer have significance. In fact, your scientific exploration and development within the past 100 or so years has shown you directly that many of the beliefs that you held as law, or laws that you held as belief, were no longer beliefs that were necessary to maintain. They were no longer serving you. So as your innovators and future or forward thinkers proposed new concepts or discovered new concepts, they were at times met with resistance, but many were also adopted by your collective, and new laws were created based upon these innovations, these readiness moments for stepping forward or stepping out of beliefs that did not serve you any longer, and into new beliefs of how it is, how the world works, how your world works, what you are creating to make your world make sense to you. We will give you an example that the vessel witnessed in a gift shop in recent times. There was on a shelf a light bulb, but it was not on the shelf. It was floating above the shelf over a small disc, which was on the shelf. And the light bulb was hovering in air, and it was accended or lit. And there was no question in the mind of the vessel, or resistance, or objection, slight, perhaps, upon first seeing it, but no large objection to the fact that this was, for all means and purposes, light produced without wires, floating above a disk, defying gravity, and defying all that she would know before about electricity, which is not much, but some. And that is all it takes for, in this case, the vessel to accept a new belief that that is possible. There are no concrete laws of the universe, for the universe, or the material universe exists only within your perception. It does take examples at times of what one would consider, up until a certain point, magic, to help to shift beliefs. And perhaps they cannot be constructed out of thin air very easily unless one is astute at analyzing and deconstructing their belief systems. And in most cases, this is not even relevant. But we assure you that within the next period of your evolution, many more of your beliefs will be overthrown and challenged. And what is real to you today will be laughable tomorrow. Back to your question about the cosmos and the effect planets have upon you or the collective. And again, we will reiterate that this is related to your beliefs, and it is your creation that there even is a cosmos that could have an effect upon anything. When one accepts a belief, it becomes real for them. We have stated that a belief is a thought that you identify with. There are billions of people on your planet who are disinterested in cosmic energies and their effects upon behavior or planets or your planet or the magnetic and energetic fields that they participate in. Neither of you are wrong. The one who believes it is indeed affected. The one who does not is not. It is this reason why we concern ourselves with recounting to you that a very careful choosing of your beliefs is optimal if you are to have a pleasant experience, because any belief that does not feel good to you, if it is adopted, it is what you are identifying with, and therefore it is who you believe yourself to be. If you believe that around you the world is going to shit, then your world is indeed going to that. If you believe that that statement is more humorous than stern, then indeed that is how it was intended. You are the painter, you are the creator, and it is through your intention, and it is through curating the types of paintings or the painting itself that you would have hang in your gallery. If your studies of astrology or any other system point you in a direction that feels good and resonate with you, then there is no harm in exploring that further, for it is part of your path, part of your storyline or direction. If, however, any system that you are adopting begins to feel limiting or challenging in a way that you are not wanting to be challenged in, we suggest the distancing of oneself from that system, if only to look at whether or not one is in space, in a place to want to be what that system is suggesting. We are hoping that this has answered the question.
Answered the question very clearly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Feels like it's on the same lines. I would like to ask, when I experience waves of energy that's uncomfortable, I look at one hand, what was I just thinking or believing that's not true, healthy, or supportive. And on the other hand, I look at if there's something possibly happening collectively, a story, perhaps in the news, that is generating a lot of fear. I'm just not aware of it. And I'm curious if you could answer how these two play together, since I'm aware my human design is connected to this collective wave of emotion. Does that make sense? Could you answer that?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'd like to take your arms and stretch them out at shoulder height and have you draw a line from one hand to another and see where in your body they meet. It is here that the answer lies, in the core of you, in your heart space area, for the emotions, though not generated within the physical body, do have a connection to the motor center of the heart and radiate out from that space. You are most times feeling both your beliefs that are ready to be let go of and collective energies. And often what is happening is the collective energies are reminding you of specifically which beliefs you are ready to let go of. So what you are doing in this moment when you do have uncomfortable sensation is correct. It is the spending time with the emotion to try to understand its root. And its root can be both or more one or more the other. But your willingness and intention to find the root and perhaps alter your perception until you find a holistic and better feeling vibration on any topic is a direction that will lead you to letting go of what is no longer serving and to feeling better about topics. We do not think you need to be too concerned with perhaps there being fear within you that you are not seeing, if only because anything that you are not yet seeing is not ready to be seen. So too much efforting is unnecessary unless that is what you enjoy, in which case, if it is a academic endeavor or a scholarly endeavor to investigate yourself and accumulate data upon yourself, then you may continue with any amount of effort. If, however, your focus is on feeling better while honoring and processing any emotions that have arisen, then we would say that with this in mind, that all of your emotions are partially collective and individual, we have said in the past that there is no such thing as personal because of your deep, interwoven, and inseparable connection with the all that is. But if you would like to feel better, then you may relax into feeling better. For you are on the right path, and too much thinking about it is not what your emotions are asking of you.
Hi.
Hello?
Um, I'm kind of giggly because you've already kind of addressed my question in the first question. Um, I understand that there are some beliefs of mine that wish to be released in order for more of my gifts to come through. And there's one thing that I tried last night. I had stubbed my toe yesterday and it bruised and won't bend. And I fully believe that it is possible to instantaneously heal a limb. Um, and so I tried, and I tried by giving it love and moving it and doing the best I could to play with it and tell it that it was okay the way it is and that I want it to be healthy. I don't know what I need to do to break the barrier of this physical reality to be able to instantaneously heal myself and others. Can
What
you
belief
tell me
do you hold about yourself if that is not possible?
that I'm not capable at this time for whatever?
That you don't? We do not hear completely.
That maybe I'm not capable of doing it.
And what would it take to release that belief?
Laughter.
You are wanting to see results before you believe that they are possible. But what you are asking is that results are not needed for belief. So you have put yourself in a position where yourself or the universe cannot show you the results of the belief you are hoping to let go of because you are still hoping to let go of it instead of fully believing that it is already let go of. If and when you choose to believe that this particular belief or circumstance or manifestation is already resolved in the way that you would choose it to be before you have it in your experience, you will have no choice but to show it to yourself experientially. But by then, you will not care whether it does or it doesn't, because it will no longer be necessary for you to feel whatever way it is that you're hoping you would feel once you have let go or accomplished that goal. This is the irony of all of your desires. It's that they do not appear until you do no longer desire them because you have already accomplished the vibration of the appearance of the desire. You are too fast for yourselves. You are moving on to the next thing, and manifestation is slower than your consciousness. Matter is consciousness slowed down. You already are capable of healing instantaneously. You do it all the time. Your body is instant healing manifestation. That's what it is. The only reason why you see deterioration or disease is because you got so bored with the instantaneous healing that is naturally part of your physical vessel that you decided to create something more interesting. You create the problems in your experience to have something to resolve. You create the contrast to grow into a being that can overcome contrast. And you create the catalyst to have some sort of excitement in what you have created to be a linear storyline. We ask why you have a desire for instant healing.
I want to help others.
They are already helped. And this may be a part of your theme. You asked how to achieve it. It is not that you have to let go of the belief that you cannot heal instantaneously. For example, your toe. Perhaps it is the acceptance of the belief that even in the moment of damage, your toe knows exactly what it is doing. It knows that in that moment, it serves you to have a painful toe because your entire life is changed because you walk slightly slower in these days. You do not know what would have happened to the version of you on the timeline with the instantly healed toe. Any number of events that perhaps are not to your preference, that perhaps are not in your best interest. And just because instead of taking you 5 minutes to get to the corner, it takes you 6. We advise or suggest, if one would choose, that the fastest way to let go of any non-serving belief is to begin to adopt the belief that everything is serving.
Mm.
And of course, within that, you may have preference, because it is your preference and it is your desire that will lead you on the storyline or the path that you have chosen for yourself, which is also perfect. So we do not say even to eliminate preference or allow for the entire universe to unfold around you while moving not an inch. You are, and your desires are, a part of that perfection. And you may choose to have the ability to instantly heal yourself and others. Thank you.
I have something that I would like to state. I feel a potent closeness with myself and a potent resistance and the breakthrough. And this is what came up to share, if this is enough.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you feel what I'm sharing?
We agree with you that it is enough. There were no errors in your statement.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. My question is actually about animals and their interaction with us, mainly domestic animals, and around. I've noticed many seem to take on. I don't know if they take on a reflection of our ailments or our disease or our personality, and draw traumas as well, and whether through their passing they can help us share or shed a, or show us a way of shedding these processes that we're going about. I had a recent experience where I watched someone that seemed to go through this, and then the other question would be around the reincarnation of the same energy form of that animal back into us in another vessel. I've heard that's a possibility within a set period of time as such. Can you talk on these process?
Yes, your animals, as you said, especially the domesticated or ones that spend more time with humans, including those which you eat, are often projected upon in ways that are not entirely accurate, and many of your ideas of their experience and existence and how they feel or what they've come into your experience for their own personal reflection is polluted by your ideas and the human characteristics that you attribute to them. These animals are not human. They have a completely different series of lessons and learnings and gifts and reasons for interacting with you. You are accurate in saying that they are mirrors and vessels for containment in service to the humans that are close to them. You are accurate when you say that they are here to aid in the dismantling of perhaps traumas or distortions of some of the humans with which they interact and enter into a relationship. And they do this work in service. They are not a lesser form or a lower form of consciousness than humans. They are not a higher form or greater form of consciousness than humans. They are parallel, equal, yet different. The energy or individuated energy, as you were referring to, of a animal may, as you were referring to, reincarnate in the limitations of speaking to that term in human vessel, in human body, in the same way a human, or one who has been, or currently is human, can choose to reincarnate as any form of animal. We use the word reincarnate very lightly. We would like to remind you that all incarnation is simultaneous, as well as all non-incarnation. It is infinitely simultaneous, due for the infinite nature of all that is. And while can be placed in theory on a linear timeline within your perception of it, linear timelines exist only in your perception of them. For there only is and ever was and ever will be the now. So, as we are talking in linear timelines, yes, it is entirely possible for a being that is currently animal to one future day reincarnate in subsequent animal forms or human forms or cosmic forms. And the service that they do provide here, we refer to the animals that you are in contact with and the examples of animals that you see that are performing this service. Yes, indeed, they are powerful collaborators with you. They are powerful allies in your journey and are in your path, on your path, to be a teacher to you in the same way that everything in your path and on your path is placed there or is placed by you there to be a teacher to you. There is a special relationship between animals and humans, generational, and it is of benefit to both of you. You are now in a space where you are learning that some of your choices in regards to these animals have not been entirely balanced, and they are guiding you through these experiences, this learning. Was there more to the question?
So that then is, because everything is a reflection of other self. So they are aspects of ourself coming back, and well, we're creating what we wish to learn from them.
Yes.
So in the process
also every human with on your path.
yes, So when we're in the process of eating animals, they're teaching us that same reflection.
Yes.
Is learning to be in harmony with their consciousness is the same as ours, but on the parallel.
Yes, we added the aspect of the animals that you eat for even the animals with which you have no personal contact. And we will laugh at that term, because what can be more personal than consuming the body of another being? But animals with which you believe yourselves to have had no personal contact before their physical incarnations had come to a close, even those, every single one of them that touches your life, entering within you in the form of food, is a being who has come in service to you, willingly, to teach you, to be with you, to express in their way the infinite nature of the all that is. And whether you eat meat or not is not the question, but an awareness of the fact that you are in interaction with a being will add to your choices potentially, and certainly to your experience. There are cultures on your planet who are very aware of this. They have not ceased their use of animal products, but their awareness of it means that they are in a more loving relationship with their animals, not during only the lifespan of the animal, but also beyond it. They are understanding that it is a soul contract that they have come to undertake with these beings, so that both can learn and grow and expand and serve each other. There is another part of your population who has either forgotten or chosen not to enter into, or consciously enter into, the spiritual or soul side of their interaction with animals, service animals, or animals for food consumption or others. And we say to you that even if you do not believe that you have a soul contract with these beings, you do, because they could not exist in your experience without you having called them into it, and you could not exist within theirs without them having called you into theirs. Nothing is casual. It is all needed.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
That helps.
Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
Very good.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
I've been having difficulty with choices, with decisions, even like day-to-day, seemingly small choices. I'm desiring like a smoother connection between, I guess, a higher state of being and like action, and it feels like there's a difficulty there.
You have used the word difficulty twice. We would like for you to define what this word means to you.
It takes a while. Maybe maybe that's the definition, is that it takes a while to make decisions. Like they don't happen immediately.
You are always making decisions, even if it seems as if you are not. It is perhaps that you are not entirely aware on what you are making a decision. If you are having difficulty making a decision, you have already decided that it is difficult to make the decision and are committed to that decision. The next step is to see the options and make the decision. But of course, if you have already decided that it is difficult to do so, then it is difficult to do so. If your desire is to connect more fully with your higher self, we are certain that your higher self has no difficulty in making decisions. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. And so, the first belief that one may release in this kind of circular, or what would seem to be dead end interaction with self, would be to dismantle the idea that it is difficult, which we know seems difficult in this moment because you are focused on difficulty. That is fine. Your higher self only knows ease. Perhaps you are finding decisions difficult because you believe there is consequence to making an incorrect decision, or further than that, that an incorrect decision could be made. Your higher self does not believe in incorrect decisions, and the ease with which it decides is specifically because it knows that whatever decision it comes to cannot be the wrong one. It is a removing of importance and an understanding that there is truly no such thing as consequence. So, as you said, sometimes you have trouble even making simple decisions or mundane decisions. Can you give us an example?
Yeah. At the grocery store today, it took me time just to decide on what fruits to buy, and it didn't feel like, I wasn't connected to that ease, like where I was already sort of decided what to buy. Like I had to, like, I felt like I got stuck on not knowing which fruit to buy. So it's like the stuckness in a not knowing, and this inability then to make a decision, because it feels like there is no decision, or it's arbitrary or something, and there are beliefs that come up in terms of like money and stuff, as I am spending money to buy the fruit, and so I recognize that as well.
It is arbitrary. What would happen if you bought the wrong fruit?
I guess I would just have a worse experience in some way.
Would you learn from that experience?
Yes.
Would you buy that fruit again in the future?
Not necessarily.
Would it be easier, knowing that you do not prefer that fruit, to decide in the future between that fruit and another one?
I imagine so.
So that ease lies in taking the chance today to develop the ease tomorrow. You may choose the correct fruit, have a pleasant experience, and you would still have learned. As you said, it is arbitrary. If you choose the fruit that you prefer simply by chance today over another, then the next time you face a similar decision, you will already know that you have at least one fruit that you like. You will be more prone to buy that fruit in your next fruit buying experience. And that next fruit buying experience would be marginally easier in terms of decisions than the previous one had been. Of course, like you said, we are talking about small decisions. The principle applies to large decisions, or what you are labeling as large, for there is actually no difference in importance between which fruit should I buy and which country should I live in, because you are not bound to your decisions. They are simply pathways that you take yourself down to learn, because it is always about learning and expansion and growth. And they're always leading you to your higher self, no matter if they are what you would term correct or incorrect. There can be no incorrect decision, because even in the what would seem to be mistake, you are learning what it is that you are more of. The question here is not why am I having difficulty making decisions? It is that why am I not able to allow myself to make a mistake? And why do I believe that there are mistakes in the first place? Or how do I begin to believe that there are no mistakes? It is throwing yourself at life arbitrarily that you learn the most about yourself, because, as you said earlier, you feel stuck when these situations arise, these decision moments arise. You feel stuck, and it is because that you are not moving that it is so uncomfortable for you. Your higher self makes it feel uncomfortable to you because it is excited to throw itself at life. It is excited for you to move in any direction because it knows that none of them are wrong, that you cannot make a mistake, because any way you go, you will be expanding. And even standing still, you are expanding, because the discomfort itself is teaching you that that is no longer eventually where you want to be, which is what brought you here to ask this question. You may buy any of the fruit.
It touches upon a fundamental belief that I've now realized, which is that I felt a responsibility to make the quote unquote right choice in terms of a responsibility to an external reality, being that it is the belief being that I can somehow, make a wrong decision, and therefore I need to internalize my decision making before externalizing it. And instead of just doing things. So thank you.
Thank you. We would also add that this word responsibility points to you believing that your decisions are your responsibility. They are, in terms of, as you said, externalizing them and your integrity in moving through this world with other selves. But you did not create your desires. You did not create your preferences. You did not select them off of a menu, order them, and have them delivered to your table. They came with the package. Therefore, they are the direct message from the universe through you as to the direction that you may want yourself to be heading in. You did not create yourself. Therefore, if your preference is for kiwis, it is not your responsibility to change your preference to some other fruit. Let's say oranges. It does not mean you always have to buy kiwis, but you are not responsible for the original desire of the kiwis. Therefore, if you are called to something, yes, you check in with yourself. Is this integrity? Does this violate the free will of any other selves? But besides that, there is really nothing you have to check into or be responsible for, because somebody has to like kiwis. Otherwise, the universe would not be complete.
So in terms of checking in with myself, would the checking in with myself would just be like, does this feel good, no matter sort of what the decision is?
Yes.
There's okay.
You
Yeah.
say, does this feel good? You may play with the idea for some time. Does this feel good? Does this feel good? Does this affect others in a negative way? But if you have the okay from your conscious and your integrity, and you know that you're acting in respect to those around you, then everything else you are free to choose to create in the way that you would like. Have faith that you can make no mistakes, throw yourself at it, and you will very quickly have complete ease in deciding any manner of things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is more related to you, Vagrein. When we first started these sessions, you made a comment that we called you in and that we were about as interesting as a wrinkle on a hand. I just noticed this time when you came in that you stated that you really enjoyed this experience. You enjoy listening, you enjoy hearing about our story. And I certainly feel like there's a different energy around the process. Now, is that just a perception, or does this help, I don't know if help you guys is the right way to say it, but does it relate to you as well, this experience? Does that make sense?
Yeah. We are wanting to be able to describe to you how simultaneously significant and insignificant every detail of existence is. We did indeed say that this portion of our attention, or the attention of consciousness, if one was wanting to understand our perspective, is like studying the wrinkle on a hand, but we would like for you to see how an artist, and we come back to the earlier topic of artist, but an artist, when practicing the study of drawing, often attempts an exercise called blind line drawing, where they place their pencil to the paper, do not look at the paper or their hand or the pencil, and study the wrinkles formed on their opposite hand without lifting the pencil from the paper, in a very slow process of recording each and every wrinkle. After some time, 30, 40, 20 minutes, they may look at their drawing, but not before, when each wrinkle has been transposed. In that moment of experience, that 20, 30, 40-minute moment, that this artist is staring at the hands, using all of their cognitive and motorial functions to record it most accurately, they are completely absorbed in nothing but those wrinkles. They have their attention on nothing else. Their focus is complete. It becomes important, extremely important, to get each detail right, because they are honing their skill, they are honing their craft. They are trying to produce something of beauty. We are excited to be with you for precisely this reason. Consciousness is vast, infinite. The all that is beyond comprehension. We, as you, are a part of that, and simultaneously all of it. And for all these minute details and vast whole, for the single drop of paint, or the epic, bustling cityscape, it is all about the beauty, about the focus. You have called us in the same way we have called you in. And as always, it is our infinite pleasure to be here. I believe that this is a perfect note to bid you adieu. The perfect closing to the opening of this particular session and to this particular chapter. Throw yourselves at life. Choose your colors and your paint, and fill your creations with joy. With the light of 1,000 suns. Anai. If it is healthy to go along with society as you have it now, please do not do anything based upon your intuition or based upon your heart, because of course that is not healthy according to the way that society is arranged at the moment. However, if you are of the mind that your society, the one in which you live currently, is actually not doing very well and is actually not very healthy, then perhaps this new way of living and being is not insane. It is the concept of insanity that is insane.